King Charles, c'est la nouvelle génération des footworkings à Chicago. C'est un style particulier, on va dire un style cousin à la house dance.
My first reaction when I saw House Dance in New York was I wanted to battle. That's the truth. Like, because in Chicago we like to communicate like this, like face to face. So I wanted to battle, and I saw a guy named Ijo, and I wanted to battle him, but he wasn't looking at me. He was just like floating around and stuff, like in the club. And I was like, you know, I wanted to get people's attention, but I didn't understand the energy that was happening. Chicago footwork was born in the 1980s with house music and with people from the south side and the west side of Chicago. With very old moves, there's a move called the Ghost, the Holy Ghost, the Irk and Jerk, you know, party moves like the Percolator. And now we have like 5 generations of Chicago footwork. Chicago footwork was not the name of the dance. I actually came with this name and promoted it around the world. Some people call it housing or like footwork. We are like connected with creativity because Chicago in the black communities is very hard struggle, like no money, like you have to be creative as a kid, so they're creating dance, you know, in the streets, you know. It was like the next generation from disco. There was a lot of free energy between like the black community coming to the parties, the Spanish-speaking community, the rave community, the gay community, all coming to the same places, you know.
Archie Burnett. C'est une des figures du Vogue et du Wack à New York. Là, on a quelqu'un vraiment de charismatique. Et ça fait vraiment plaisir de voir des danseurs comme ça.
I lovingly call myself the dancing dinosaur. I am 63 years old, and it ain't over till it's over.
You know, I've been meaning to talk to you about something.
People see me around the world, they're Archie the dancer, Archie the voguer, Archie the whacker, Archie the hustle. It's not that, baby, it's the music. The music is the catalyst for all. We are just links in the chain. It doesn't start with us, but it continues with all of us. Voguing is really a political statement. Back in those days, the people who were living alternate lifestyles, the gay LGBTQ kids, they ended up, you know, being discriminated against. They couldn't show who they were. They couldn't be in the street and carrying on and do that. Now my story gets very unique because if it weren't for Willie Ninja, I don't think I'd even be involved in this, you know, because obviously a straight guy in the Vogue scene back then was a lot of heat, but nobody challenged me because I had that, you know. I walked my first ball at the Elks Lounge. You get your trophy if you're the best one out of the whole participants that came. So for me, I ended up getting model's body, and then after that, runner-up in bodybuilder's body. Look at that. I would have dated me. We had a group, Breed of Motion, which was, Bravo, myself, and Javier. But originally the group was 13 members. And it doesn't matter if it was Vogue, if it was hip hop, if it was house. When we're in the club back here in New York, everybody partied together. Everybody. It was about the music. You see gay people, you see straight people, you see trans people. You see people dressed all up that just came after work. Because they're there for the music, they're there for the release. OG, to me, means older guy. That's what it means. I was not a gangster, I didn't rob nobody, I didn't kill nobody, none of that shit. OG is older guy. I'm just been on this earth a little bit longer. Young people teach me every day because of their experiences, how language changes, the things that they're going through now. The curse of youth is that everything begins with them. Rarely they'll look back to go, oh, I understand that, and then keep it forward. Very rarely.
Hiro, c'est un OG du Japon, il fait partie des Dance Fusion. Donc c'est quelqu'un vraiment techniquement au-dessus de vraiment beaucoup de monde. Il était là pendant le battle Step Ya Game Up. D'ailleurs, il l'a gagné haut la main.
First of all, Japan have a very long history about street dance because of the Soul Train. Because Japan have so many U.S. navies and armies base. They also playing the Soul Train at the same time as U.S. So many people already know about party grooves and all the stuff. And also Japan is I think maybe the first country to try to bring the US people as a guest for the events. So they start teaching, and they stay for a while in Japan, they're sharing the info. When I was 20, I moved to New York. I started to staying with Stylez, so she was a roommate of me. So then, that timing, they creating the dance fusion. Actually, officially, they creating dance fusion because the name of the dance fusion, they making the name because for the Japanese events. They got an invite from the Japan Dance Delight, that's the contest. They became a guest and a judge, but when that time, they don't have the crew names. So that's why the timing, they made crew as a dance fusion. So then after they came back, they started to have a meeting. So they're gonna create the dance fusion crew. So they called some of the people like from the same generation and also like few Japanese people like who living in New York. So we got all the meeting and I joined the dance fusion. The club culture in New York is totally different than Japan. They got so many different race, different generation, and different style. They are not dancers, but they really enjoy the house music. Because before, it was kind of fashion, I was trying to copy like all the dancing crew, the technique, all the technique. I want to practice. But when I moved to New York, I really feel the culture of the club and the music and the house dance. So I was like, oh, okay. So my image of house dance is totally changed because of New York clubs. Everybody having fun with the music and everybody getting sweat and everybody just dance, they don't care. So I was like, oh shit, this is real culture. House music have a little lyrics but not so much meaning because the people gotta imagine. So that's why it became open. But I think maybe for the future, we have to keep the traditional. People should know all the foundation moves. So then after that, they can be open. Otherwise, we're losing the traditional. That means the culture is dying.
C'est grâce à la danse que je suis venu en vérité, grâce à la house dance. Et on me le disait très souvent, tu verras quand tu iras à New York, il y a quelque chose qui va se passer, tu verras. Je sentais que j'étais un peu, entre guillemets, arrivé à des limites. Battle, soirée, ambiance Paris, ambiance cercle, sectorisé, toi contre moi, etc. Je me suis aperçu en soirée en fait qu'il y avait une liberté d'expression et une liberté de rentrer dans un cercle, même si t'es pas house dancer. Même si tu n'es pas danseur, tu peux partager des choses. Je pense que ce voyage il va changer ma perception de la liberté en fait avec moi-même. J'avais besoin de cette liberté et de ce grain de folie pour pouvoir évoluer dans ma danse.